my
I was
God.
gonna say who gave you that
One
shirt?
of our
Where'd you get that?
listeners gave this to me.
No way. That is the best t-shirt ever. And it's just so big. Pivot. I
Yeah.
That would
love
have been funny if they did the friends spelling.
yeah. Oh my God. I love who that listener is. We actually have a great fan base.
Yeah, you've met that listener, Jess, but then you blew her off.
I had my kids, all right? I will make it up to her. When
All
is
right,
she
you
home?
better.
When is she around next?
You better. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Next time she's around, we're gonna go
Yeah.
out.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Perfect. How are you guys? It's been a while. I'm back.
It has been a while.
I know. Soccer is on a pause until August. So that's good.
Is that
Yeah,
that's
a whole 3 days
3 days?
or whatever it is, 5 days.
Like mid-August, I think.
Okay.
Oh, so yes.
Yeah, we went. We took a vacation. We went to a place. We went to the Wyoming-Idaho border. And hung
Really?
out. Yeah.
Did you go to the Devil's Tower?
No.
Oh,
We went to Yellowstone.
okay. All right. Nice.
So it was.
I'm a big fan of Devil's Tower, though.
Yeah, I don't think we've. Where's that located?
Like, you know, the little section on when you're driving out I-90 and it cuts into Wyoming and then cuts north towards Montana. It's right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, okay, so we go up to. We go through 94, like we go up 94. We really like driving through North Dakota and
Sure.
Montana.
But then it connects with I-90.
It does down in Billings.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've driven that stretch many a time between Minnesota and Seattle.
We don't.
One time did it straight through, no stopping other than for gas.
Oh, you must have been like 20.
No. This was we lived in Seattle and we were visiting here during the summer. Got two voicemail messages. Fortunately, we listened to them in the correct order. The first one was, "Hey Steve, this is your neighbor Mark. Just want you to know everything is okay. But we had a slight forest fire in the area here. And it came down the ridge and got into the field next to your yard, but it's all contained, it's all put out, everything's cool. Give me a call when you get a chance, no worries." The second voicemail was on my wife's phone. "Oh my God, Claire, this is Michelle. The neighborhood's on fire. I gotta go." Click.
Awesome.
Yep. So we did a quick pivot, and when we drove back, we drove straight through. Didn't basically taking turns, sleeping and driving through just to get back to see what was going on with the. And the ground was blackened and charred within 5 feet of our yard.
The thing that's like really crazy about forest fires is like the trees don't recover. So like that when I first drove out that way up 94, Montana was on fire. That was like the year, that must have been like 2000, 2001 when Montana had the really bad forest fires. And so we were driving down through like going to Yellowstone. And the fire was like actually really close to the road. They let us go and stuff. And so then when we did that drive last year, it was all still dead and burned. I mean, the grass is back, but like there are no new trees really. And then when we went to Yellowstone, we came up the southern route. And so when you go in the south entrance and you drive like the south entrance or you go to the east part, it's like tons and everything's all burned and dead and there's grass and stuff. And I'm like, how recent was this fire in Yellowstone? 1988.
Oh wow.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
it looks like it just happened.
Interesting.
Like within the last couple of years. So
How was Yellowstone?
it was hot and crowded. So the plan was from where we were at, we were told that it takes an hour and a half to get to Yellowstone from where we were at. So we all wake up and we're like, oh yeah, we take our time. It's only an hour and a half drive, no big deal. And I'm like, I'm gonna Google this, like, just to make sure. No, it is not. It is 2 hours to get to the Southern Park entrance, and it is 2.5 to get to the main visitor center, and it's 3 hours to Old Faithful. And I'm like, oh, so then I'm like, well, we're leaving early enough, like maybe we'll still get in around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that, maybe 3:30. I'm like, but this is probably not going to be the greatest day. So then we go, there's construction everywhere. It's busy in the park, in both the parks. And we don't get to Old Faithful till like 4:30. And then Old Faithful isn't going to go off till 5:15. And so we were like, and we have a bunch of kids with us. So we're like, well, we can do this. And we really only have time to either walk around here or go see something else and then leave to go home so that we can maybe make it home by, because then it's 5:15 when Old Faithful goes off, 5:30, something like that. Then we're all like, oh, we gotta all go to the bathroom. It's 6 o'clock before we even leave to go to the next place. And so
First world problems.
Yeah, so we're like,
First world problems, my
we're
friend.
like, we just gotta go. Like, we're done for the day. We've been, because we had just gotten in, so we'd been driving for 3 days. And then we weren't anticipating to do another full day of driving. It ended up being basically 10 hours of driving. So it wasn't as good as it could have been because we didn't really get to do anything. So we had plans to go, maybe next year again.
Cool.
I'll go with you next year.
Yeah.
I really want to go. I think it would be so fun and take a little road trip with the girls, but I don't want to do it by myself. So I'd much rather go with another family or I don't know. I don't want to go by myself.
We'll let you know when the dates are if they want to do it again. But so we stay in a town called Alpine, which is right on the border of Idaho and Wyoming. But Jackson and Jackson Hole is like, 45 minutes away. It's not that far away. And if you want to stay in the little town of Rexburg, you can, or Idaho Falls. Those are only about an hour away.
We'll see.
Jess, do you have a vacation coming up?
I don't. Actually, you're the second person who's asked me that in the last hour. And both, like the first one who asked me that was like, you should. He's like, you seem like you're doing a lot and it feels like you need a vacation. I'm like, I think you're right. No, my boyfriend and I were talking about going somewhere this weekend, but then I don't know. I didn't get a chance to plan anything. He didn't get a chance to plan anything. So it's like, okay, let's just go out on the boat, which is fine. But no.
Just take off. Just pick a direction and go and see what happens.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
If you were to go out on a boat, where would you go out on? What lake?
Minnetonka. Well, Saturday is supposed to be the nicer day, so we're planning on going early Saturday because the lake gets super busy and you need good boat parking trailer spot. So we're gonna go early and then invite just random people, and people who want to come can come whenever they want throughout the day, and we'll just cruise around and hang out.
So
I'll be checking my inbox fervently.
What do you want? What time do you want to meet us?
So you guys have both skied here, right, before, and you've done things in the water and tubing and stuff like that.
I do tubing. I don't ski.
Okay.
Water ski.
Have you ever seen anywhere where the person that's being pulled behind the boat, whether you're skiing or wakeboarding or surfing or tubing, if they fall off the thing, that you have to hold a giant orange flag up to indicate to other boaters that there's somebody in the water?
An orange flag, like the person who's skiing in the water needs to do that, or the person on the boat?
Somebody on the boat.
I know, but that's only because I've never A, wanted to, nor B, have been skiing in a lake that was that crowded.
So
Huh.
we're at the Palisade Reservoir, which is a big kind of like dam and lake on the Snake River. And apparently it's the law out there that that's how it works. If somebody falls while they're skiing, there's someone on the boat has to hold a flag up. And I'm like, why in the world? And it's because there's no, like, you just go get a thing and just go. Like, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you have to have a license out here to, like, drive that stuff. I'm like, maybe not a Sea-Doo or whatever, but I'm like, maybe it's because we have those requirements. You're saying no license?
There's no requirements for A, owning, B, driving any watercraft. You can just, anybody can do it.
That's super weird to me then.
Now they have like classes like boater safety and boater etiquette, but do you have to take those? No.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah. It is weird that you don't need a license to drive a boat. You don't need to take classes, nothing. And there's just dumbass boaters out there.
Yeah, I feel like this is something as a society we really should pivot on and come up with some course or license.
Well, I think you can get a boating license.
You need a license.
I don't think you need a license to operate a boat.
Not to operate.
You need a license to put on your boat that says, "Hey, I'm valid for this year," like your license plate tabs.
Yeah.
Similar to that. I used to love skiing, but not anymore. I still like it, but
this is what it is. It's people between the ages of 12 and 17.
Oh.
That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like you have to go through a class and pass that class.
Yeah. Okay.
And that makes sense because the majority of the time that I boated here was in between those ages. And it was always like, if you want to drive the boat, you got to go get your thing. Make sure you bring it with. Interesting. So, yeah, that was something that was weird because it was really funny there. I'm like, what is this for? And they're like, it's for when somebody falls. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, like, I'm like, they're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you guys are the weird ones, not us.
I think that's probably just more learned etiquette for crowded lakes.
Mm-hmm. I saw the orange flag law in different cities, but not in Minnesota. So like I saw it in Oregon, but I'm not seeing one for Minnesota.
No, it seems like it's out west. That's that's what I'm seeing. Which I would think on a lake that's really crowded like Minnetonka, if you wanted, I mean, first of all, it's probably dangerous to water ski or tube and stuff when it's really crowded, but that would probably be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
This was weird because there were like 5 of us, 5 boats like that you could see, and it's like a good 5-minute drive across the reservoir, so it's not like we were close to each other. But I mean, and good on the people because like every time somebody did it, their thing went up. It was weird, right? Because it's like we get a Sea-Doo and you have to have another person ride with you if you're pulling somebody in case they fall off to be the flag person.
Huh. Well, there's plenty of YouTube videos of boating accidents where somebody's in a smaller boat and a big boat just comes cruising along and they're like yelling and waving and the big boat doesn't see them. And we're just talking them hitting another watercraft, let alone a swimmer in the water.
Yeah.
And they just plow right through them.
Or the really good one where the 2 boats are driving side by side and then they're going full speed and then the jet skier comes full speed in between them the opposite direction and gets destroyed.
Jess, what's on your mind? What's your beef today? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I do always have a beef. I have too much on my mind. Remember our one conversation like a year ago of like, I have happy stress.
Oh yeah.
And everything's happy. Like I love my life. Everything I'm doing is amazing. I'm stressed, but it's happy stress. Well, that happy stress has now turned into like stress. And
Trick. It was always stress.
I know.
It's a trap.
And I thought of that like a month ago where I'm like, oh, this is happy stress. But I know it's not happy stress. And I know any form of stress is stress, but I'm still going to tell myself it's happy stress.
Yep. That's the trap. Yeah.
Yep. Now it's just too much going on. I never knew that having like a boyfriend was going to impact my life the way it has. Like, I had so much going on with all my friends, and now I have a boyfriend that I'm like trying to focus and pay attention to friends. And now that's like I'm getting the, oh, we never see you anymore. Oh, you're never around. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm trying to like build a relationship.
Does he have kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
he should know.
Well, our schedule is aligned. So the weekends I don't have kids, he doesn't have kids. So when we do have weekends off, we try to spend them together. And so I then bring him with my friends or I go with his friends versus it was always just me. And now people are like, well, you're always with him now. Well, I know, sorry, for 3 years, I was alone and lonely and wanted a boyfriend. And now that I have a boyfriend and someone to share my life with, is that not good enough for you? So the joys of juggling.
So you're hoping they would be happy for you rather than making you feel guilty.
That they wouldn't sound like high schoolers / 20-year-olds.
I went through this in my 20s and I'm going through it again in my 40s.
Are they all married
No.
or are they all unencumbered?
I have a group of friends who are single women, and then I have my best friend group who are all married women, and even they're the ones who are saying you're not around.
People don't like change, man.
Yeah. And I'm not the one changing, it's just my schedule.
Yeah.
But can you really truly blame them for wanting to be with you?
Well, thank you.
You know, there's a worse problem where they could be like, hey, really, please go with him. God, if we don't see you until like November, that'd be awesome. In fact, December would be good. After the holidays. At least they're not saying that, right?
No, they're not.
So this is good stress.
Again, good stress. I'm very loved stress, and I know it and I feel it. And I'm loved by my boyfriend, and I know it and I feel it. And now it's like, okay, a lot of love coming my way, and I don't know what to do with it.
So if you love it and you know it,
clap your hands.
Clap your hands. Yep.
I don't know. I find it weird that they would actually say something like that, though. That's odd to me.
Well, I don't think it's that bad for them to say, gosh, we miss you, we never see you. But if it's said in a way that makes you feel guilty, then they probably need to adjust that.
Or
so are you taking that on yourself, or are they making you feel guilty?
That I was just gonna say that. Or that's my problem, because I'm the one interpreting it like that, and I should just say fuck off, or I give 0 fucks. Mm-hmm. And I'm just happy and whatevs. You know,
or,
so like,
or thanks for saying that. That makes me feel really good. I'll do what I can, but this is my life right now.
Yes, exactly. So like, now that we're talking about it, I think it's more a me problem.
You're gonna go back and read those messages and be like, yeah, I misinterpreted that. It says right here, like, thinking about you.
By the way,
I took it as, you bitch, you're never around.
When you get Ethan's and my bill in the mail for this session, take your time. We don't charge interest. Just make sure it fits into your life when you can pay us for this session.
Thank you. You're really helping me pivot in my thinking.
Part of me just died.
Are you gonna wear? Is it gonna get worn out? Like, if we say it enough, is it gonna go away and then that shirt will be pointless?
It might make me numb to it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've worn it, by the way. I was so ready. I was like gonna wear it last week, and then we didn't have it. I was like, I'm wearing it this week. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's my beach.
This was from, actually, I should say this is from 2 of our listeners.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a joint gift. Shout out to Ben and Beth. Yep.
I
We're
love it.
avid listeners.
Well, I can't wait to hang out with them when they're around next.
We'll make it happen.
So your story of, so episode 38 released a little while ago, and that one was called Plans, and that was in that one Steve told his story about the CBD gummies and the beers.
Yeah.
And people,
Well, that was the one where I came in totally loaded. Yeah.
People love that clip because I made that like the clip that I post on social media.
Yeah.
And after I took because I did have closed captioning on it, and it got 0 views, and I'm like, oh, this has completely been shadow banned. Like they're not pushing it. So I re-uploaded one without, and that thing has taken off. Like people love that. They think it's hilarious. Love that story. Some people are like, I'm gonna try that.
I do not recommend that. It was just a tick short of bed spins. That's where I was. It was crazy. So not recommended, but hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
I love those little snippets that you do.
So I'm very excited. Next week, I'm taking off and going to the Boundary Waters for a week. Complete disconnection from all social media, all technology. If you try to Snapchat me, or I'm not on Snapchat.
Okay.
If you try to
I'm
Instagram
surprised
me,
you even knew that
I'm
one.
not on Instagram. If you try to TikTok me, I'm not on TikTok. If you try to do anything, I won't get it.
Not just because you don't have it, but because you can't get it.
I can't. Yeah, right. Tweets.
You do this? You do this every year.
Usually.
Yeah.
I didn't go during the pandemic, which is odd because that was the optimal. Although that was amateur hour in the Boundary Waters the last 2 years. It caused major havoc, and I have seen more bear reports since then because people were careless about how they took care of their campsites. More bear reports this year than I've ever seen. So
we don't go to Yellowstone all the time. I felt like maybe it was a little bit busier because of the flooding that had happened, and so everybody was like, I better go out there. But I don't know. I mean, it could have just been the time. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that'll be fun. Who are you going with?
A friend of mine that I've known for like, I don't know, 25 years, and he and I have made like 20 trips together.
Nice.
So him, affectionately known as Inspector Gadget, because when you're in the middle of the woods and you're like, oh, I wish I had brought this, he'll be like, hey, I think I got something for you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me digs through his pack and he's got something.
Or Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's my friend Mark. And then our mutual acquaintance / colleague Pat is coming along for his first trip.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yep. So I'm hoping to exchange my knowledge of camping in the Boundary Waters for his fishing knowledge. So we will see if we will mesh as a cohesive unit and come away from a very successful trip. So I'm very excited about it.
That'll be awesome. So 7 days. So isn't it like a day to like get there and hike and like get to where you're supposed to go?
Yeah, we'll take a day to drive up there and then go in the next day. So we'll drive up to Ely, go in the next day, and then spend about 6 days in there and then come out.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And so that's next week?
Yep.
Cool.
Late next week.
Okay.
So.
Oh, you're not leaving until later in the week next week?
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
I love it.
I've had to prep because I'm completely out of shape. So I'm like, trip's like 2 weeks away. I finally And of course, during like 90-degree temps, I'm like, I should probably start running again. Oh. But I instead did it on the treadmill.
That's smart.
So I've got, I think, another 3 or 4 days where I can get a run in.
Speaking of running, I do have a trip coming up where I'm running from Minneapolis to Duluth.
Ragnar.
Yep, Ragnar is coming up. I have barely trained. I can run maybe 2 miles. I need to run 5.4 the first mile or the first leg, 5.6 the second leg, and like 4 point something the third leg. So I am screwed.
Miles or K?
Miles.
Wow.
Yeah. I can run 2 right now. So I am not looking forward to it. I am now the captain as well, because our Captain Cully, his daughter is graduating from like a special graduate school, like where she's having her doctoral, getting her doctoral. And so he wants to be there. So he's traveling for this, and he leaves the day of Ragnar. And so he doesn't want to miss his daughter's event, which is totally understandable. So, of course, me being me, was like, sure, I'll be captain. Let me take that on.
More. I'm the Sherpa. You know, you do this to yourself, you know.
Fuck my life.
Do you know, like do you ever get to a point where you say no?
Maybe. I can't even say no right there.
Have you said no before? Like, have you ever hit the limit where you're just like, or do you say like yes and then you just do like a quarter-ass job of it?
I don't know. I'm having a really hard time self-reflecting lately, so I can't answer that. Honestly, recently I've been saying yes to everything. In the past, I know I've said no, but it's been so busy that, you know how they say, if you want something done, give it to a person who's busy versus giving it to someone who doesn't have much work. They procrastinate and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get it done eventually. But someone who's busy is like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they like do it and they get it to you. That's me.
I have never heard that expression before.
You haven't?
No.
Have you?
I thought you were gonna go if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. Like that's where I thought you were going with that. I suffer from this, and I have a bunch of friends that suffer from this too. I think they call it like people pleasing. There's some really funny stuff on.
No, I think what it is
it's actually a trauma response, is what it is.
No, I disagree. This is where we have the dueling psychologists right now. Dueling amateur psychologists.
Let's do it. You go. I'll rebuttal.
I think what it is Jess is trying to prove, not to anyone else, she's trying to prove to herself that she can do more.
Okay. Somewhat agree. It's not that she's trying to prove to herself, because I'm saying you, but it's like I do this too, and I have tons of friends that do it. I'll just say we do it for our own self-worth. We don't feel valuable unless we appear to ourselves as a top performer, right? So this is the scenario. Okay, I have finished all my tasks that my boss thought a normal person would do in 8 hours in 30 minutes. What am I gonna do? And your inner monologue is like, go get more work.
Yeah. We're gonna practice though. Hey, tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'm making chili cheese pancakes. No. Are you guys okay? Good. Thank you. There you go. I'm gonna keep doing that. Like every couple of minutes, I'm gonna give you a question, and you're gonna say no.
No. Okay. So the quote is, "If you want something done, ask a busy person to do it." So a popular proverb suggests that when you are faced with a large task, you should call upon someone with an ongoing track record of accomplishment. I don't know. Okay, so if
So
you
did someone
so-
call upon you?
Yeah, so
That's
the
like who
only-
you call upon, but why would you take it on?
And the only type of busy people that will do it are people like us that are like, I have to feel busy, or I have to feel like I have too much. I mean, it's a whole thing, because there's also like neurodivergency in there too, which is like borderline ADHD, where you can't actually do it if there's no like significant deadline like right in front of you, you can't actually get the motivation to focus on it, and so you pile all this stuff on to force these deadlines so that you can actually do the work. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in there.
So my thought process, and I see this a lot with consultants, is that they're so in the weeds that they can't take a step back to be able to assess and slow down and think of things differently and do something different. And so that is where I'm at right now, is like I am so in the weeds of work, and I'm so in the weeds at home, and I'm so in the weeds with my friends and my boyfriend, and like I have so much that I'm not able to take a step back and pause and say what is really important, and I need to do that. And so like I've recognized that, and that is has become very apparent yesterday and today.
Have you done that, like a prioritization before? Have you ever had to do that before?
For myself, yeah.
Do you have like buckets already established for priority?
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't be. Hopefully it's not too hard.
No, like I did say no to my friend tonight. She's like, hey, she was one of the people who was like, I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just been really busy. And she's like, well, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, well, my boyfriend and I don't have any plans, but we want to just chill and hang out. And she's like, well, how about you not hang out with your boyfriend this weekend and hang out with me? I miss you. I haven't really hung out with you alone. And I'm like, I go, you know what? If I do something without my boyfriend, it's going to be with me. It's not going to be with anyone else. I need time to myself before I prioritize other people's time with me. So
did you tell her to make a rain check?
I did. I said, you know what? If I do something tonight, or if I do something this weekend alone, it's going to be with me, but I would love to get together with you another time.
Nice.
So.
And did you agree to plan it?
No.
Okay, you owe it to that friend who wants to spend time with you.
No.
You owe it to that friend to go, all right, I'm going to plan it.
No.
What?
No,
That adds more to my plate. No, that adds more pressure on me.
That's not pressure. That should be like, gosh, this person wants to spend time with me. That's so cool.
They can schedule something. They can reach out and say, here are a couple dates and here's what I want to do with you. And I will say, okay, that sounds like a plan.
Well, they tried to, and you gave them the Heisman.
And I said, no, not now. Nothing. Okay, now you're making me feel guilty again. I said no, and now you're making me feel guilty.
No, this is not intended to make you feel guilty. It's you can't expect that person to keep coming back to the well. So that's my feeling.
I agree. But if they really love me,
I don't know. It's like there are people that I didn't talk to pretty much the entire pandemic, and then like, I mean, after I was feeling like better, had time, I just reached out, and I was like, I get it if like this is like a ghosting test, and you don't want to, like, not gonna hurt my feelings, but like if you still want to hang out, like I'm game. Most everybody was cool with it. They're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then it's just like picking up, like just like nothing had changed really.
She's one of my closest friends, so she's not going anywhere. She was just saying, what are you doing this weekend? So
I'm gonna be your friend's advocate and go, that feels like you're taking me for granted.
Okay, I'm gonna hang out now and go to bed.
Well, I was gonna say, be prepared to be
that.
ghosted.
I was like, I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna hang up, I'm gonna go call my friend. I would be like, okay, cool.
No, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna listen to anyone anymore, and I'm just gonna sleep for the next maybe week.
Wow, this is really a symptom, isn't it?
Mhm. I'm in fight or flight right now, and then I go into depression, and then back into fight or flight. So I need to get back into ventral. So there's sympathetic. So your nervous system has three phases: ventral, sympathetic, and dorsal. Dorsal is like the depression, sad, I want to be by myself, I want to be in a dark room. Sympathetic is when you're in fight or flight, like where I'm at right now, just trying to manage to stay alive and wing life. And then there's ventral, where you're in your safe, connected, happy zone. And so you flow through all those nervous systems. And the goal is to be able to easily flow through them, but mostly live in ventral. But right now I'm living in sympathetic.
Wow, I've just been schooled. That's pretty interesting.
Look it up. It's called
I don't need to look it up. I've got you.
the not polyamorous.
That saves a lot of time.
Poly- Oh, okay, Jess.
Yes, what do you think? Where am I right now? Here's how I'm feeling. Talk to me.
Polyvagal theory. It's called the polyvagal theory.
Wow, we're getting pretty heady tonight. Polyvagal theory and Hanlon's razor. There we go. I think we covered that though pre start of this episode.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
You came lit too already, right?
No. Not lit.
Lit and pivoting. That's how you roll.
No, not like that one episode. I was 2 or 3 beers in, and that was a struggle to like. I had to go. No, I committed to this. I need to go attend. The struggle is real.
Polyvagal.
There it is. Got it. You made me Google it now.